On your first day, someone hands you a hoodie with the company logo on it, smiles, and says the words, "Welcome to the family." And it feels good. Of course it does. New badge, new laptop, a team lunch where everyone laughs at your joke. Someone says, "We really take care of our people here." You believe it. You want to believe it. And for a while, it's completely real. You stop feeling like staff and start feeling like you found your people. The group chat that's still firing at midnight over some inside joke. The manager who remembers your dog's name. The week your life caves in at home and someone quietly covers your work and tells you not to even think about it. You start saying "we" when you talk about the company. You defend it at dinner. A recruiter slides into your inbox with a bigger number and you say no without really thinking about it. Because why would you leave? These are your people. This is home. But here's the detail you slid right past. That feeling didn't just happen to you. It was built for you, deliberately, the moment they chose one very specific word to describe a job. Family. And it wasn't only your company. The two-person startup and the 100-year corporation, the coffee shop and the law firm, the founder in a hoodie and the CEO in a suit, all of them, with no memo passed between them, reach for the exact same word. Not team, not crew, family. That's not sentiment, and it's not an accident. They reach for it because that one word does something to you. Something old. Something that trips long before you've decided whether these people have earned it. And the day you finally see what it's doing under the surface is the day it stops working on you. So let's take it apart. Start with the one question that building never wants you to ask. Why? Why would a company, a machine built to make money, care whether you feel at home? It isn't kindness. It's math. A person who feels like family is the best deal in business. They stay late without being asked. They try harder than the job pays for. They don't watch the clock, don't count the hours, don't ask, "What's in it for me?" Because family doesn't. You don't send your mother an invoice. And a company that can make you feel that way gets the one thing money can't actually buy. An employee who gives like it's love for the price of a job. So look at what they spend to manufacture that feeling. The free lunches, the nap pods, the ping pong table nobody has time to play, the "we're all in this together" at the all hands. It reads as generosity. It's an investment, and every dollar of it quietly does one job. Erase the line between your life and their building. Family doesn't clock out. That was always the point. So the warmth isn't the gift. The warmth is the hook. And it works because of a wire in your head far older than money. One you can't switch off, even when you know it's being pulled. But there's a trick that you can use to overcome it, and it works 97% of the time. And here's why. For almost the entire history of our species, you did not survive alone. You survived inside a small group, a family, a tribe. Get cast out, and you died. Slowly, maybe. But you died. So your brain stopped treating belonging as something nice and started treating it as something you need to stay alive. Psychologists call it the need to belong, and it is one of the strongest forces running you. And here's the flaw they've learned to pull. That wire doesn't check ID. It can't tell real blood from a company that just uses the word. So the second someone says, "We're a family here," a part of you older than language relaxes. It stops running the numbers. It stops asking what these people have actually done to earn you. It just belongs. And a person who's busy belonging does not behave like an employee. Because once that wire is tripped, look at what you start handing over, without anyone ever having to ask. You answer the message at 11 p.m. Family doesn't leave family hanging. You take the laptop on vacation just in case. You don't push on the raise because haggling with family feels greedy. You cover for people. And you go quiet when something feels wrong because you don't rat on your own. That last one isn't a guess. The research on family culture workplaces is blunt. The harder people buy the family story, the more exploitable they get. Work bleeds into every hour. Setting a boundary triggers guilt. And they grow more willing to stay silent about things that are actually wrong. To protect the family the way you'd protect a brother. The warm word doesn't just buy your extra hours, it buys your silence. But squeezing more out of you while you're there, that's the small con. The big one is making sure you never walk out the door. And companies have been using this psychological trick for a really long time. Here's how it actually works on you. Try to leave. That's when you feel it. In a real family, you cannot be fired. There is no version of your mother laying you off. That permanence is the entire meaning of the word. This family? You can quit any Friday, and they can end you any Tuesday. It runs one direction for exactly as long as you're useful. But the word plays one last trick on your way out. Because it's dressed up as family, quitting doesn't feel like changing jobs. It feels like abandoning people, like betrayal. So you stay, in the role that's burning you down, on the team that underpays you. Months, years, past the point you should have gone. Because leaving the family feels like a moral failure instead of a career move. Sit with how well built that is. They chose a word that makes staying feel like loyalty and leaving feel like treason, for a relationship that, on their side, ends the instant it's convenient. That guilt in your chest at the exit door was the product all along, and there's a cold, specific, dollar reason they want you frozen in that chair. It has nothing to do with love. Here's the number. When you walk, replacing you costs them somewhere between half and twice your entire yearly salary. That's the real research figure. The recruiters, the job ads, the interviews, then 3 to 6 months of a new hire running at half speed, while your old work piles up and your hard-won knowledge walks out the door on your back. For a manager, it can hit 2 times salary. 2 times. So do the math they already did. Every single year the word family keeps you from leaving, you save them a small fortune. You're not their kid. You're their cheapest retention plan. And it cuts deeper. For most of the last decade, the fastest way to actually get paid was to leave. The people who job hopped pulled raises of 10, 15, 20%, while the loyal ones who stayed got 3 or 4. So the whole time you felt like family, your loyalty was quietly turning into a pay cut you volunteered for. Less in your pocket, more in theirs. The warmth wasn't just cheaper than replacing you. It was cheaper than paying you what you're worth. And if some part of you still wants to believe it's a real bond and not a line on a spreadsheet, watch what the family does the second keeping you stops being the cheaper option. Watch a bad quarter. You already have. A whole wave of them. The companies with the family language, the offsites, the founders' teary posts about "our people are everything," laying off thousands in a single morning, not with a conversation, by email, by a Slack channel going dark, by a badge that quietly stops working at 9 a.m. while a calendar invite explains it after the fact. People who gave a decade found out they were family right up until a spreadsheet said otherwise. One line from a journalist watching that wave is hard to unhear. A family doesn't fire its kids. Whatever that relationship really was, the layoff exposed what it actually ran on. Not blood, not belonging. Cost. You were family for exactly as long as keeping you was cheaper than cutting you. Not 1 hour longer. Which leaves one question hanging in the air. If family was always the lie, has any company ever just told you the truth? One did. Out loud, years ago. And the whole internet called them heartless for it, and you won't believe why. It was Netflix. In 2009, Netflix wrote its culture down and put it online, and one line went off like a grenade. Most companies, they said, talk about being a family. We are not a family. We're a team, a professional sports team. And they spelled out exactly what that meant. We'll coach you, we'll pay you well while you're helping us win, and when you stop, we'll thank you and let you go. No pretending it's unconditional. No pretending it's forever. People recoiled. It sounded mercenary. Cold. And here is the twist that should quietly rewire how you see every job you've ever had. Netflix was the honest one. Because every company on earth already runs exactly like that team. You are kept while you help them win, and released when you don't. That's not Netflix being heartless. That is simply what a company is. The only real difference is the word painted on the wall. The family companies run the identical machine. Same conditional deal, same performance math, same layoffs in a downturn. And then brush the warmest word in the language over the top of it so you won't look too closely. The cold company told you the truth. The warm ones told you a bedtime story, so you'd tuck yourself in and work the weekend. So here's what "we're a family" actually is. It was never a description of how they'll treat you. It's a lever, built to make you treat them like blood, to give more than the deal is worth, to stay longer than you should, and to feel guilty the entire time you're being used. And the fix isn't to go bitter or to care less about your work. It's just to see the word for exactly what it is, so it quietly stops working on you. Do great work. Genuinely love the people in the next chair. Those friendships are real. Keep them for life. But save the word family for the people who would never, under any circumstance, lay you off. Give the company the honest version instead. I'll do excellent work, you'll pay me fairly, and the day that stops being true for either of us, we both walk. And nobody calls it betrayal, because nobody ever pretended it was blood. That's not cynical. That's just finally matching your loyalty to reality. And there's a strange freedom waiting on the other side of it. The moment you stop needing your job to be your family, it loses its grip on you. And you get to hand that belonging back to the people who actually earned it. Your loyalty was real. The late nights were real. The caring was real. The only fake thing in that whole building was the word they used to harvest it. You didn't fall for a con. You're just built to love your people, and someone upstairs decided to bill you for it. That is not your shame to carry. It's theirs. So do one thing, and not for me. For the person about to sign an offer letter under a wall that says, family. Tell me the exact moment your mask slipped, said by the guy with the bonus, to the room that got a pizza party. Name it. Be specific. Because someone scrolling these comments right now is being told they're crazy for feeling this, and your story is the thing that proves they're not. They painted the warmest word we have straight over a balance sheet. Let's put what was really underneath it in the comments so we can strip it all out.